It's Weekend Update with
Martin Luther King Jr.
and
Helen Keller.
Everyone, my name is Martin Luther King Jr.
And I'm Helen Keller.
And you're watching the Hell Weekend Update.
On today's episode of the show, we have a very special treat for you, our viewers. We are going to be interviewing former U.S. presidents about their foreign policies.
I know you're wondering, there are presidents in hell? But let me let you in on a little secret. Most of the historical figures you know and love are in hell because they were racist, sexist, or even murderers on Earth. Yes, for instance, I went to hell because I cheated on my wife, Coretta Scott, with Malcolm X.
And I'm in hell because God hates women. No, really. When you die, all of your diseases are supposed to go away, but I'm still blind.
No. You're in hell because you sent runaway slaves the wrong way on the Underground Railroad. Do we have an image of that?
I think we have to get out of here.
Okay.
I see the tunnels. Helen Keller, where do we go? Where's Canada?
It is now time to talk about foreign policy with 5 former presidents.
Our first guest is former President George Washington! So George, how are you liking hell?
I'm just glad my wife's not here. Martha was an ugly broad, and that's why I cheated on her so many times. You can relate to that, right, Martin?
Let's move on and talk about your foreign policy plan during your presidency.
Sure. At this point, I'm very well known for my policy of isolationism. I just didn't want America getting involved with alliances or just European problems in general. I saw the French beheading each other and Irish boys having sex with their mothers and said, America will have no part in that.
Definitely. Very insightful. Even though you did preach isolationism, you were still a relatively globally active president.
Of course, I signed a few treaties, like the treaty with Spain and with the Creek Indians. I tried to create a treaty with the British to stop impressment, but I just sent John Jay as my liaison, and he just everything up.
George, I expected you to have less boobs and a deeper voice.
Right back at you, fancy boy.
Let's give it up for George Washington, everybody!
Hello to our new guest, Thomas Jefferson.
Hi, I'm Thomas.
Thomas, tell me about your past foreign policy ideas.
Well, let's just say I'm a Francophile. I love the French, and I made my Democratic Republican Party with France in mind.
Interesting. What else did your foreign policy entail?
The Embargo Act. I tried to stop trade with Britain and France in an effort to punish them for oppressing our sailors, but it backfired severely. Our economy was crippled, but it was all my fault.
You are such a weird man.
Your hair smells really nice.
What?
That's enough of that, Bill Cosby.
I'm sorry.
Let's give it up for TJ.
I'm gonna jump like 150 years into the future to get to our next president because most of the men were really racist and sexist. Let's give it up for our next host, George H.W. Bush.
Hi.
George H.W., you were such an amazing foreign policy president. You were president of the United States when the Cold War was officially over. You won the first Gulf War to ensure a new world order, and you invaded Panama to defend democracy and human rights in the region. Why do you think the American people only elected you once?
I don't know you. Okay, George, calm down. Let's start over. Even though I did have several foreign policy achievements, I did have my bad days.
Yeah, you're right. Remember when you threw up on the Japanese Prime Minister? Do we have a video of that? Wow, that was disgusting.
If you harass me like that one more time, I'll murder you.
Let's get back to the topic at hand. Why did the American people go with somebody else in 1992?
It was the economy, stupid. Throughout history, Americans vote mostly based on economics, and I infamously created a new tax that a lot of Americans did not like. I did it to help the economy, though. A recession. But the American people thought I was a hypocrite and voted for Bill Clinton.
And Bill Clinton is your son's age, right? Did you Feel good losing to somebody your son's age?
I'll kill you.
And we're back with a more calmer, sedated HW. Now, why were you such an eventful foreign policy president while presidents like George Washington steered clear of foreign involvement?
It really was because of isolationism. Up until the 1900s, the United States had a long-standing policy of not getting involved in foreign affairs. We tried to spread democracy with Woodrow Wilson during World War I, but after 1918, we fell back into our old policy. It wasn't until World War II that we became outspoken in the global community as we are now, and it's because of the Cold War and the Second World War.
Thank you, George. That was really insightful. Love how you're slurring your words.
You're welcome.
Our penultimate guest is the scoundrel himself, Bill Clinton.
Hi, ladies and ladies. I'm Bill Clinton.
Tell me, Bill, what do you like most about hell?
The ladies. Let's say Jane Addams is a wild woman.
Okay, let's move on to foreign policy. By all accounts, you weren't really that much of a foreign policy president.
I resent that assumption. I was a really big foreign policy president in 1993. I sent the troops to Somalia to combat famine.
Which quickly turned into a bloody military struggle, and you had to withdraw the troops within months.
I condemned Rwandan genocide.
But you didn't do anything to stop the systematic murder of over 800,000 Tutsis.
I signed many economic treaties like NAFTA.
You're right, Bill. You were revered for going out into the world and contributing to globalization, but you were a terrible humanitarian president.
Hey, Monica.
Yes, Daddy? You want to be in picture? You want me to sit down?
Let's give it up for Bill Clinton.
Don't forget Monica.
Now, let's give it up for our final guest, thank God, George Bush.
Hi, everybody.
George, let's talk about 9/11.
Even though most of the terrorists on those planes were from Saudi Arabia, I decided to go to war with Iraq. I really just thought that Iraq was making weapons of mass destruction, and my father should have gone all the way to Baghdad and take out Hussein, so I did the dirty deed.
You invaded Iraq, which turned into a cesspool of terrorism that it is today.
You're right.
Do you have any regrets?
The only regret I have in life is the time when I had sex with a stray cat and got feline AIDS.
God damn it. Let's thank George Bush.
During this program, we learned that American foreign policy has changed a lot.
We started out as isolationists,
Emulated a lot of countries like Thomas Jefferson and the France debacle,
became a global superpower in the 1900s.
and started spreading our ideals at the same time.
We also learned that our culture has been historically racist and sexist.
That's a part of our cultural identity.
But over time, with activists like ourselves, we made America more diverse and unified.
We can't end the patriarchy,
Or racism.
but we will leave you with this sentiment.
Life